We were working in Morocco for almost 6 months, in which we fabricated all the loose tiles for the zillige. The wood was carved in Morocco out of cedar from the Atlas Mountains. For us, we were transported back to the year 1300. It was clear to my team that we had to use only the elements and the tools that has been used for centuries. For instance, the plaster on the walls, they were smoothing it with their hands. When I look at this court, I see hands everywhere. Everything is touched by hands.
The Moroccan court exists in many contexts in Morocco, in a domestic setting, in a religious setting, and in a public setting as well. The inspiration came from all of these different types of courts coming together. Without making a historical reproduction, we wanted to be historically authentic. We had to do things very close to the original way. So we had to scale things down very precisely so that your eye wouldn't feel that things were wrong. Your eye has to have a sense of complete harmony when you look at these elements. The government of Morocco, for our project, released a special kind of stucco which they don't normally export. It's got a wonderful reddish hue, and you see this reddish color in Marrakesh particularly. Through the process of carving, they have to keep it moist, and it retains the soft and malleable quality for months afterwards. In fact, it's very fragile until it completely hardens. What's incredible is that if you make a mistake or you want to change something, you can just slap some more plaster on and shape it and carve it. It's got a kind of soft quality, and then at the same time it hardens just enough so that when you need to get your chisel in there and make it into definite shapes, you can do that as well. And then they have a series of tools. Some of them are as fine practically as toothpicks, and with these tools they apply themselves to carving the surface of the stucco based on stencil designs that they have applied. There is a movement to the whole nature of the carving. They are able to create effects of leaves going over vines, under other leaves. They are extremely sculptural. It's an arabesque almost in 3 dimensions.
We used some of the best wood carver in the city, and it was very difficult in terms of the intricacy of the
easy to recreate medieval designs, but difficult to get them in proportion with the rest of the space and relative to the other elements.
We had to act as extremely high patrons. We had to do things very close to the original way. In the old days, creation of these wall patterns would have been done with a lime-based mortar and done directly on the wall. But it burns through the skin and causes horrible injuries. So what they generally do now is create intricate mosaic tile pattern on a floor, upside down basically. The surface of these shapes is colored, it's smooth and brilliant, but the reverse of these shapes has to be cut into a particular beveled style so that they interlock well with each other. And then they pour into a concrete-based mortar, which allows it to get completely solid.
We had to get some variation of colors. For instance, 3 shades of blue, there are 2 shades of green, so it has the characteristic of an ancient antique panel.
We match the colors right back to the authentic palette of the 14th and 15th centuries. She departed from the design because they were so inspired to do better. Muhammad just said, I'm going to leave the design aside and I want to do something for you that I've never done before. That's going to be a freehand drawing based on a historical precedent. They have to have mastery over the symmetry and the geometry of these patterns. And it's the interlocking of these simple forms that leads to the complexity of the surface decoration that you see. It's very mesmerizing, actually. No matter how stylized it is, there is an underlying logic that does not break down. That's an important part of the heritage that they are keeping alive. Most craftsmen all over the Muslim world tend to be Sufis. Much of the work that they do reflects a kind of devotional spirit. For example, the craftsmen actually stylize the veining of the leaves to reflect the name of God. Allah, in Arabic script, is written essentially in a series of vertical strokes terminating in a rounded form. Very understated element in the decoration, but if you want to see it, it's there. to acknowledge that these spaces and this work has a spiritual dimension to it only enhances it and makes us understand how human beings are capable of doing things that require such dedication.
I think it's wonderful that people can visit a recreation of a medieval Moroccan courtyard without having to go there. It is a real privilege for us as Moroccans.
This place is a constant reminder of harmony between two different cultures.
The strength of Moroccan design is to understand the beauty of the simplicity of the old world.
The Moroccan court will join a family of great spaces in the Metropolitan Museum, spaces that offer an area for contemplation, that transport the visitor to a completely different part of the world, and do this at the highest possible level with the greatest sensitivity to the surroundings and the masterpieces of the collection. It's a historian's dream, a chance to actually be part of the act of creating something wonderful.